In the words of the great Sheriff Woody, reach for your pens and papers because it's time for the most magical game show on earth. This is episode 158 of Disney Jeopardy, and I am your host, Bryan Perri. Thanks so much for joining me this week. If you did not do that last week, join me, then you don't know that Treasure Planet on the final Jeopardy wheel spin, which means I've got 5 clues all about a film that I hadn't seen in 2+ decades before this last week. Hopefully you are a Treasure Planet fan and you'll ace that category. If not, I've brought with me 4 other categories. And here they are on your screen. First up, Treasure Planet, of course, but what's second? How about Oscar winners by losers? Your third category is Sweet Haircut. Yeah, I need one of those. We're going to the theme parks for a little common ground next. And finally, what did the club DJ members choose this week? They chose Missing Songs. I did it again. Another tight poll. Unfortunately, the tight race was between second and third place, as Missing Songs was the clear victor with over 40% of the vote. Because the race for the runner-up was so close, I'm going to be a nice guy and lug both of those options to the Club DJ poll at the end of this episode. So if you want, just keep swimming or slaps. You can vote again. But for now, it is time for the easiest round of the game. It's the cupcake round, serving you up some cupcakes. And it begins with Jimbo's Just Desserts. I mean Jim from Treasure Planet. Jim's last name. Not only Jim's last name in Treasure Planet, but also Jim's last name in Treasure Island, the story that inspired the film. The correct answer is Hawkins.
Like a Kandarian zapwing overtaking its prey.
James Pleiades Hawkins. I thought you were asleep an hour ago.
All right, we're moving on to Oscar winners by losers. I always do an Oscar or Academy Award winning category at this time of the year, and this is no different. What I will do for you is I will give you the name of a Disney film that did not win an Academy Award, but it was nominated for Best Animated Feature. You'll have to tell me what movie defeated it in that same year. Could be PIXAR as well. Here's your first one. Moana. Moana is one of my favorite Disney princess films of all time. Unfortunately for the movie, though, it came out during the same year as one of my favorite films of all time, period. I'll let the award show tell you the winner.
And the Oscar goes to Zootopia. Simon Howard, Bridgemore, and Clark Spencer.
That's right. Zootopia deserved it, but I will say Moana is one of the greatest feature animation films from Disney to not win the Best Animated Feature Award at the Oscars. Another movie that came out in 2016 from Disney/Pixar that obviously lost to Zootopia was Finding Dory, though I say lost, it wasn't even nominated, which is kind of crazy because Finding Dory was pretty good, but not as good apparently as Moana or the winner, Zootopia. Now we are moving on to Sweet Haircut. In Sweet Haircut, I'll be asking you questions all about scenes in which some of your Disney favorites get their hair cut. Here's your first clue. Entangled, after Flynn cuts Rapunzel's hair, this character trips Mother Gothel so that she falls out the window. Everybody wants to talk about how cute little Pascal is, but next time you look at him, don't forget, he's a murderer. He's also the answer to this clue. All right, theme park fans, it's your time to shine. This category is called Common Ground. It's all about rides that you can find in Disneyland and Disney World or one of the international parks, or rides that are extremely similar in some way. You'll see what I'm talking about. The only version of the 4 Big Thunder Mountains to include an outdoor boarding station. Like I said, you have 4 big thunder mountains. You've got Tokyo, you've got Paris, you've got Walt Disney World, and you've got the correct answer to this question. The original big thunder found in Disneyland.
If you folks are wearing hats or glasses, next remove them, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
All right, it's time for the final clue of the cupcake round. It comes from the category of missing songs. Here's how this will work. I will show you the back of a CD. Remember those? Remember albums and CDs? I'll show you the back of a CD that shows you the track list of one of your favorite Disney soundtracks. I have erased one of the songs from the track list. You have to recognize the list and then identify what song is missing. Here's your first one. It's another Tangled clue. What is track 7? If Billy on the street stopped you and said, hey, what's the most famous song from Tangled? What do you think you'd say? I don't know what the correct answer is. I would probably say I've Got a Dream, which is not the correct answer here. That's right there. But some likely would say, I See the Light. 200-point round is complete. We are moving on. Ow, I just hit myself on the desk. We're moving on to the 400-point round. We begin with Treasure Planet. The name of Treasure Planet's legendary directors. Whenever I come up with movie-specific clues, I often try to keep to the story of the film rather than asking about the production of it. But this movie simply does not get made without the persistence of directors Ron Clements and John Musker. You'll want to remember those names for an upcoming episode. They're the best. Back to Oscar winners by losers now. Luca. Man, this one was a tough one to swallow because after rewatching Luca a couple of weeks back when we had the Luca episode of Disney Jeopardy, it reminded me that this movie is one of the most underrated gems of the last decade from Disney. It did lose the Academy Award, unfortunately. Did it deserve to lose it to this movie? Let me know in the comments.
And the Oscar goes to Encanto!
Without the music of Encanto, I might give Luca the edge, but I feel like that's an unfair advantage that Encanto gets, but it is part of the movie, so they are neck and neck. Moving on. It's Sweet Haircut for 4. During Avengers Endgame, this Guardian of the Galaxy asks Captain Marvel if she's going to get another haircut. Well, this scene takes place at the beginning of Avengers Endgame, and at that point, a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy have gone away. I'm back? Okay, I'm back. Meaning that one of the only possible answers is your correct one. That is Rocket.
Carol, are we seeing you here next month?
Not likely.
What, you gonna get another haircut?
Here comes Common Ground for 4. If you want to ride a roller coaster but don't want anyone next to you, you can ride this coaster in Florida and this one in California. You could be on a lovely family trip with your loved ones and ultimately say, I don't want to sit next to you on this roller coaster. In fact, I'm going to ride a ride where you don't have the option to sit next to me. That's because these 2 coasters are in a single file within their coaster trains. The first one is Space Mountain down in the Magic Kingdom. Out in California, you'll need to ride the Matterhorn if you don't want to sit next to anyone. Here's your final clue of the 400s. It comes from Missing Songs. I'm not going to tell you the name of the movie, but you should be able to get it. What song is missing from the soundtrack? It's track 1. It is track 1 because it is the first song you hear in the movie. The title credits are playing while you hear it. The correct answer is Arabian Nights from Aladdin.
Arabian Nights, like Arabian Day.
We are moving on to the 600-point round and traveling back to Treasure Planet. This dying pirate crashes near the inn and utters the warning, "Beware the cyborg," before expiring. He did not say it like that. I don't know why he said, "Beware the cyborg." That's not at all what he sounds like. Just give me his name. Who is the hideous Billy Bones?
Can't let them find this.
Who's coming?
The cyborg. Beware the cyborg.
One thing I'll say about Treasure Planet is I don't love the pirates in the film. I don't really ever find myself rooting for Long John Silver or any of the pirates. So from that standpoint, it's kind of hard to get through. But I thought the movie was pretty good slash okay. Not my favorite Clements and Musker edition. Moving on, it's Oscar winners by losers. Onward. The year was 2020. Onward came out and eventually got nominated for Best Animated Feature. It lost. I think it should have lost to this film.
And the Oscar for Best Animated Feature goes to Soul, Keith Dafford, and Dana Murray.
Halfway point of the game means it's a 600-point clue for a sweet haircut. Stan Lee makes one of his MCU cameos as a man who cuts the hair of this character. Stan Lee, a man of many talents throughout the MCU, perhaps none more impressive than Barber for Thor.
By Odin's beard, you shall not cut my hair, lest you feel the wrath of the mighty Thor. Please, kind sir, do not cut my hair.
600-point clue from Common Ground goes like this. When it opened with the park in 1983, this ride at Tokyo Disneyland was only allowed to have one station due to local laws. Now, this is an interesting story. When it opened in 1983, Tokyo Disneyland became the first Disney Castle park to not include a railroad circling the entire thing. Instead, the park decided to place the train ride on the left side near Western Land and Adventureland, and the Western River Railroad, which is your correct answer here, only made one stop. Now, the reason for that is due to an old law that was eventually abolished that said if a train, no matter the size of it, no matter if it was a narrow gauge train like the theme park trains, or a regular size one, if it made more than one stop, it had to abide by regular Japanese train laws and charge people a fare. And Disney said, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. So it stayed as a theme park attraction, making just one stop. Crazy. Moving on to the final clue of the 600s, it's missing songs. Now you should be able to figure out what soundtrack this movie's from, but what song is missing? Once again, track 7. Put on your best Christmas outfit because we're talking about Something There.
A few days more, there may be something there that wasn't there before.
Whew! I'm coming in from the cold of Something There and turning up the heat for the 800-point round. It's Treasure Planet for the 4th time. The amount of children Doppler and Amelia have at the end of the film. They've got 4. Here comes Oscar winners by losers again. The Princess and the Frog. Now this is an outrage. Princess and the Frog should have won the award for Best Animated Feature for the 2009 season. It brought Disney out of the second dark ages. But alas, it did not, and it lost to this other film.
Oh, you know, just to be nominated.
We won!
It is just a nomination.
This isn't gonna end up on YouTube, is it?
And the winner is Up.
I'll give Pete Docter his credit. He's great. He's great. But Princess and the Frog over up for this guy. If you want to share your wrong opinion in the comments, let me know below. Let's move on. It's the 800-pointer for Sweet Haircut. In Soul, Joe Gardner's barber Dez tells him that before becoming a barber, he wanted to work as one of these. Dez wanted to be a veterinarian.
I wouldn't call myself stuck, but I never planned on cutting heads for a living.
Wait, but you were born to be a barber, weren't you?
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Here comes Common Ground for 8. With Dinosaur, R.I.P., and Indiana Jones in California having nearly identical tracks, name the type of dino you encountered on Dinosaur during the Crossing the Bridge segment of Indiana Jones. If you are sleeping under a comet that destroyed most life forms on Earth, Dinosaur is currently being transformed into Indiana Jones. The reason that's a simple switch for Disney is because the tracks are nearly identical outside of one early scene. Now, the most famous scene in Indiana Jones is arguably when you are crossing the bridge and you see the other Jeep in the distance. It's such a cool visual. On Dinosaur, what's going on when you're on that part of the track? Well, you're spotting a big dino. It's not yours, but at least it's a vegetarian.
And identify.
Sauropod.
Still not our dino, but at least this one's a vegetarian.
And one last time, here is your side by side. You've got the cool bridge scene on the left from Indiana Jones. You've got Dinosaur on the right with the lights on. That makes it easier to see. Dinosaur is about to go in that circle before the pterodactyl. Indiana Jones is about to see some snakes. Once again, R.I.P. Dino. Here comes your final clue before the 1000s. It's missing songs. We are once again focused on Moana for this clue. What is missing? Talking about track number 3. It is the song in which we see Moana grow up on screen. The answer is...
You must find happiness right where you are.
So there you go. 20 clues down. 6 remain, including Final Jeopardy. But before we get there, you know what time it is. It is time for the most overly dramatic, soundtrack-infused, unnecessarily spotlighted part of the game, the 1,000-point round. Hit it! We begin the 1,000-point round with your last clue from Treasure Planet. When Jim meets Morph for the first time, he's shape-shifted into this household item. Morph is a spoon.
Go on, Jimbo, have a swig. Morph.
I also don't like Morph. Oh, that's gonna get me some hate. I know it's gonna get me some hate, but I think he might be. He's not an overrated sidekick because nobody talks about him, but he left the actual map on the ship on purpose, and then Jim just forgot about it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's move on. Sorry, Treasure Planet fans. It's Oscar winners by losers. Wreck-It Ralph. Now, this is an interesting one because no one's out there saying Wreck-It Ralph is Disney's most well-received film, but is it more well-received than The Winner? Another Disney property? I don't know. What do you think?
And the Oscar goes to Brave, Mark Andrews and Brenda Chapman.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love Brave. I think I like Brave more than the average Joe, but which out of those two do you think deserve the award for Best Animated Feature? Let me know in the comments. Here comes your final clue from Sweet Haircut. Jerry Goldsmith not only created the famous score for Soarin' over California, so good, but also made the music behind this Disney animated film that featured an important haircut. You want to talk about underrated? This song is underrated. I'm talking about the tune behind Mulan's haircut. Two clues left on the board. Here's your final one from the theme park category. Out of the 5 It's a Small World attractions, these are the only 2 versions to not open on opening day of the parks they were built in. As most of you know, the original It's a Small World debuted right here in New York City, the 1964 World's Fair out in Queens. What does that mean? Well, that was 9 years after Disneyland opened, so Disneyland is half of your correct answer. We go through all the other It's a Small World attractions, and you've got Magic Kingdom, which opened in 1971 with the park, so that doesn't count. You've got Tokyo's It's a Small World, that opened in 1983 with the park, so that also doesn't count. How about Disneyland Paris? 1992 opened with the park, so that does not count, leaving us with the other half of the correct answer. Hong Kong Disneyland's opened 3 years after the park. Final clue on the board belongs to missing songs. It is arguably the greatest soundtrack in Disney history. I'm of course talking about The Lion King. How well do you know it? Well, you'll have to name track 6, which, is an instrumental. Now, I let you know it was an instrumental because I thought it might be too hard of a clue considering that you can't really sing along with this song from the film. What is the correct answer? It is This Land. So there you go, 25 clues down. How are those scores coming along? Hopefully one of you is playing with friends and family and absolutely embarrassing yourself, because that's actually kind of funny. If you're in the negative, you're not really supposed to be able to wager anything in Final Jeopardy, but I'll let you wager 5 points, my treat. Speaking of Final Jeopardy, what say you we find out what the Final Jeopardy category is by spinning that wheel. It's the Final Jeopardy wheel spin to determine so one of the categories next week. Let's do it. And for the first time in this show's history, we are going back for the release of Raya and the Last Dragon. Believe it or not, this is a film that has been requested a number of times in both the comment section and messages I've received over the years, so I'm happy to present it to all you Raya fans out there. Make your wagers based on your knowledge of the film from just a couple of years ago. You know, besides Strange World, I'd argue to say that Raya and the Last Dragon is one of the most forgotten Disney films of the last decade. When I watched it, I remember really liking the main character, but I thought the story was just okay. Maybe my opinion will change this week when I rewatch it. I encourage you to do so as well. But for now, you'll need to have already seen the movie to get this one right. Or maybe you won't. Here's your Final Jeopardy clue. The number of siblings Sisu has. Good luck. And time is up. Sisu, the last dragon. That's not a spoiler, all right? That's pretty much in the trailer. Had a bunch of siblings, all with unique powers. How many of them were there? Correct answer is 4.
I want you to meet my brothers and sisters. That's Amba, and that's Prani, Jagan, and Pengu. He's our big brother.
That does it for episode 158 of Disney Jeopardy. Thank you so very much for watching. Bunny, I'm wearing your shirt today. Look, it's you and you and you and you and you. You never wear a shirt with me on it. You want one? You want me to get you a shirt with me on it? She thinks I'm asking her something else. Anyway, thank you so very much for watching. Bunny Eclipse appreciates you so very much, as do I. We both really appreciate the Club DJ members who are going to go vote now in a poll that is eerily similar to last week's poll. That's because we have double runner-ups, but we have a newcomer as well. And I kind of like the putting on a face. What will win? It is up to you guys. Speaking of things I like, how about Disney Jeopardy Pets? The best Disney Jeopardy viewers of all. Bunny loves them all, so do I, so keep them coming by messaging me your pictures on Instagram. Bunny, your spikes look crazy today. Insane. Anyway, now you know the deal. If you like what you saw, do me a favor, subscribe, click that bell icon. Hello, bell! So you're notified every time we come out with brand new content. I've been your host, Bryan Perri. This has been your executive producer, Bunny Eclipse. Bunny, you hungry? I thought so. We bid you adieu until next week's episode 159. Let's go get a bone, huh?
Bye-bye.